Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Class 10th, our next topic is the discussion of some important receptors in our body. As we already discussed the first part of the nervous coordination, that is the brain and the spinal cord, and also the neurons. So, this is the second part of our nervous system, that some receptors, important receptors, are discussed here, and how these receptors are connected to the nervous system, and what are the structural or the different parts inside our receptor. So first of all, the first receptor in our body, the very important receptor that receive the stimulus of the light, is the eye. Human eye is a very important part or important receptor organ in our body, and human eye normally present in a socket like structure which is known as orbits or eye socket. Outside the eye, we have eyelashes and eyelids, and both of these eyelashes and eyelids are used for the opening closing of our eyes, as well as for the protection of the eye when they prevent the different materials, especially the dust and the other parts, to enter inside the eye. So they protect and they control the movement, the opening and closing of the eye. Inside the eye, there are three main important layers, and these layers are: the first one is the sclera, the white part of our eye, and the second one is the choroid, and the third one is the inner part, which is known as retina. So all these are the three main parts of our eye. If we see the transverse section of our eye, we can see that the first one layer of the eye, which is known as the white color, the white layer of the eye, and this is known as the sclera. Sclera consists of certain connective tissues, and it is responsible for the protection of the eye, and it protects the inner parts of our eye. In front part, the part of the sclera sometimes bulges out, and this bulging part of the sclera is known as cornea. The second layer of the eye, which give different colors to the different human, like someone have green, someone have black and brown eyes. So this is the actually the choroid layer, which give different colors to the human eye, and this layer is when come in front, it give here a special structure which is known as iris. Here its parts, its layer going back, not complete the whole round of the eye, but it going back, and that forms special structure which is known as iris, and leaving a hole in between these two parts, which is known as pupil. A window or a hole is left, and the iris going back, so this is the pupil, and the pupil is responsible for the contraction and for the relaxation when there is dim light and when there is dark light. As we already have two structures, like here when the light intensity is increased, so the pupil the muscles here are two type of muscles are present in the choroid layer. One is the radial muscle, and the second one is the circular muscle. So these two type of muscle acting opposite to each other when there is light intensity increase, so radial muscle relax and circular muscle contract, and our pupil, the size of the pupil becomes small, because the light intensity is increased and there is need of less light to enter inside the eye. And when there is the light intensity is less, so what happened, the radial muscles contract and the circular muscle relax, and our pupil become the window between the two iris, the pupil become large to see the objects clearly. So in dim light the pupil become large, and in intense light the pupil become small. So this is the function of the second layer, which is choroid. Inside the choroid, then when we go inside, a lens is present, and which is a convex lens, and that lens is present opposite to the pupil, and it is attached here by special muscles which are known as ciliary muscles, and these ciliary muscles are attached to the special ligaments which are known as suspensory ligaments. So ciliary muscles and suspensory ligaments, they control the shape of the lens, sometimes less convex and sometimes more convex, by detecting the atmosphere or the light changes at that time. The next is the part of the eye, the third layer of the eye, which is known as retina. This retina consists of mainly the sensory cells, which are known as rods and cones, and this retina also consists of some special points like the fovea and the blind spot or optic disc. Fovea is the point in the retina where most of the rods and cone sensory cells are present, and they give they give sensation, a nerve impulse according to the light entering through the lens. While the optic disc or the blind spot is the point where the optic nerve enter to the eye, and here mostly no cones and rods are found, so that's why this is also known as blind spot, and this is the place where the optic nerve enter into the eye. After the position of the iris and the pupil, our eye consists of the two chambers, divided into two chambers. One is aqueous chamber and the other one is the vitreous. Here the fluid is known as aqueous fluid, and here the fluid is present which is known as vitreous fluid or vitreous humor. So here the main important thing is the presence of the sensory cells, that are rods and cones. Rods are those cells which are sensitive to dim light, and they in the dim light they are converted into, they contain a special pigment which is known as rhodopsin, and rhodopsin, when light fall on rhodopsin, they break and then produce a nerve impulse which is carried by the optic nerve to the brain and then convey the message of the brain here. And mostly this is these are the rods which are made up of vitamin A, the rhodopsin, which are made up of vitamin A, and that's why with the deficiency of the vitamin A, a special problem occur in our eye which is known as night blindness, and we can't see the objects clearly in the dim light or at night. The other sensitive cell is the cones, and cones are have the pigment which is known as iodopsin. In the human, three basic types of rhodopsin or cones are present, each responsible for the specific basic color, that is blue, green and red. And if one of them is not working, we have a problem of the color blindness. So that is the genetical problem, that may be a genetical problem. If someone have lost one cone for the blue, it means that they can't see the blue color. If someone have lost the cone for the green color, they will not be able to see the green color. So the problem of the color blindness arises with the absence of the cone related to the specific color. So this is the structure of the eye, the different parts of the eye, and how can we receive the light, the stimulus of the light, and how our different parts of the eye work for the working in the light and dark condition.